In this episode, I'm sharing an interview I did in 2020 with Luca Moneta from Italy. He is a third level instructor and a professional rider and a member of the Italian show jumping team in many Nations Cups and European and World Championships. Some of you may have heard this interview when I released my Happy Horse interview series, and it's such an important topic that I wanted to share it here on this podcast also. So Luca is a dear friend. We met in 2003 in a clinic with Linda Pirelli in Florida. Since then, he has been dedicated to doing the sport of show jumping at the highest level, while also continuing to improve his own horsemanship and introduce a way of training based on relationship to the international show jumping world. Now, this interview that you're going to hear was recorded before I got my fancy podcasting microphone, and Luca does have a thick Italian accent, but I just know you are going to love this conversation. So here we go, episode 55, Happy Horses with Luca Moneta. Hi, I'm Karen Rolfe, and welcome to Horse Training in Harmony. This podcast is about you making progress with your horse in a way that you both can love. It's about learning how to move and be in harmony. Because yes, you really can develop a horse to be both athletic and happy. When we show up as our best selves for our horses will show up for us. So let's get started. Welcome to another of my Happy Horse interviews. And today we are with Luca Moneta, who just lost his video. There he is. Don't be shy. You are not shy. So Luca,
just tiny bit.
Just you're going to have to listen to me talk about you for a second. So Luca is a professional show jumping rider. He's been a member of the Italian team in many Nations Cups and European World Championships. He has been competing in CSI 5-star shows, World Cup, Global Champions Tour, and other big international shows. But when you talk to Luca, he will say, what's more important to me is my relationship with horses. And I know we're going to get a chance to talk about that. So welcome, Luca.
Thank you.
I first met Luca back in 2003. Oh my gosh, that was 17 years ago, Luca.
We was like 5-year-old or 6.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
It's amazing how we both look exactly the same.
It was child.
Yeah. But it was in Florida, and it was when we both were having our very first clinic with Linda Pirelli. And
Yeah.
that's how we met and just became, quickly became friends, and that friendship has lasted. And I just have to say, you're one of my favorite people on this planet. So thank you for being here.
Thank you. It's the same for me.
So the reason I'm doing these interviews with different professionals is because a student asked me recently, how do I know if my horse is happy? And I answered, but then it made me think, I wonder how other people will answer that same question. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So actually, my first question to you, Luca, is how important is your horse's happiness? Does it matter to you as a competitor and a horseman?
Of course, matter for me because there is 2 reasons. First reason, I'm very egoist, and when I see my horse happy, I feel very happy. And it's such a good energy for you when you see the horse that can have an happy moment and a happy life. And second, also because they perform 10 times better, they offer 10 times more. You have the best time with them when they're happy. Otherwise, it's really hard to be with them, and something that I don't like. I like to do what I love during my life, and when I wake up in the morning, I wish to do what I'm doing because I love to be around happy horses. That's why I ride and why I stay with horses. Otherwise, I will quit.
Yeah. I'm with you on that one. It's supposed to be fun, and if it's not feeling good, I'm not good at doing things that don't bring me that joy. You know, why are we doing it if it's not bringing us joy?
Me either. We are very selfish.
Yeah. So do you think that there's like for me, I think about there's unhappy, like not happy, and then there's like not not unhappy, but not, you know, and then there's really happy. Like there's a scale. How important, you know, how much do you think about just making sure your horses are not unhappy, and how much do you think about making them more happy?
I have a dream about that. For me, the goal is to make them super, super happy. But I have no idea, and I'm exploring, and I try every day to find something, and it's very different. And actually, it's something very interesting because I truly believe that there is not one way, and every horse is different, and every day every horse is different as well. And it's just a matter of try and make mistakes and be able to fix it and correct. And I mean, there is no one way to make the horse happy. There is a million way, and it's really interesting for me. It's something that make me really curious, you know,
Mm-hmm.
give me a lot of passion.
Yeah, I think I find the same thing with my horses. There's a certain level of I need to meet certain horse needs for them to at least not, you know, not be stressed and not be unhappy. But then to make them, when I think about making each horse more happy, it really becomes individual to that particular horse. Like, what is Ovation like? What does Atomic like? You know, what, and I'm sure when you're competing, you're asking so much of your horse, it really does come to that individual horse and you.
Yeah, you touched the right spot because I mean, I I really use them. I'm sorry for that, but they make my living. They need to win prize money. They need to become more performance because the owner give me horses to sell after. I mean, it's my job, and it's kind of strange for some people to think about happiness and push them to perform because people think that a happy horse is a horse that live in the field with other horses and have grass and have, but it's funny, it's really particular. Often I speak with my wife and we are the opposite. I do business with horses and she just have horses to love them. Okay, they are in the field, they do nothing. They go there, she pat them, and she have just time with them. And sometimes she say to me, "I think my horse are unhappier than yours because
Mm,
it's very something special, you know." I think that it's very difficult to say what make a horse happy, what not, because some horses love to be lead, to have rule, to have goal, to learn new stuff,
mhm.
to go through something also sometimes a little bit tough, a little bit strong, and then find a different situation and say, wow, look at that, what I can do, how I am. They become proud. I remember one of my best horse, the name is Connery, and he came to me, was really, really in a bad situation. He couldn't watch out of the box. In the field, he always stay into the gate, dancing, you know, right and left. They never stay without a horse. It was really, really unhappy, like you say in the beginning. And I remember when we went in Las Vegas to the final of the World Cup, and Nicoletta, my wife, she was really shocking. She said, "Look at him; he's so proud." It's unbelievable to see how his horse, through his career, it became so, I mean, they show off. They say, wow, look at that. I am the king. I am the important, you know? And to think that they fly, he went everywhere in the woods, and how he was in the beginning, it's such a strange. Then, I mean, I have no idea how you make a horse happy, or how I make a horse happy. But I really believe that it's something that it's fun to explore. And normally they are the one that teach me, you know. I try to listen, and they are very good to explain.
Yeah. Yeah, they tell us so much. It's do we hear it and do we understand it? You know, I am, of course, I do dressage. I don't do much jumping, but my horse.
No, you are very good in that.
I
remember.
have stayed on horses while they jump, and you are the
Very
only
important.
person I jump with.
Don't jump before, don't jump later.
But you remember my horse Monty?
I remember very well.
Yeah.
Why not turn? Why not turn?
Yeah.
You remember my English?
That was actually a very funny moment. But I had set up some jumps and I was free jumping him.
Yeah.
And I remember I set it up and it got up a little bit higher and he went and jumped it and he knocked the rail down. And I was going over to set it back up and he was like, I'm coming. I had to like set it up and get out of the way. And he tried to jump it again. And it was an oxer. And then he hit the other rail of it with his back feet. And he just took off and was flying around. I put it back up again, and then he made it over, and he came over and stopped. And I was like, okay.
Look at that.
So, you know, I remember thinking that, like, wow, he knew the job. He knew what he did. And he was like, I'm not quitting until I make it over. So that pride, I really get. And I think for me with dressage, it's, you know, everything in dressage is a little bit less clear. Then I hit the jump, right? So they're like, was that half pass good enough? You know, it's really hard for horses to understand that, but I always try to make my training feel just as clear to the horse as you made it over the jump and you know it. Because I have felt them be proud. I totally agree. And I think it's so interesting to play with wanting a happy horse and wanting big performance.
Yeah, that's why I can have some success, because they love it, because I'm such a bad rider. But when they want to do it, they do it alone. That's my good part, you know. I'm very lucky.
Oh my goodness.
I just read the number, hopefully. Sometimes I choose the wrong number. I also did it.
But I know you've also, a lot of the horses, at least when I first met you, you were getting because they were other people's problem horses. Yeah. That they had said, no, they were not happy horses, and you were able to change them.
Yeah, and also, you know, I think that when you have bad experience in your life, and actually horrible experience, because human can be very, very bad with horses if they don't know, you have an advantage, because they recognize that you are different, and it's easier to look like you are great. I mean, if I need to take your horse, it's difficult for me to make him happy, because they know everything nice. But if I take a horse that had horrible situation, drugs and fire and electricity and pain and everything else, if I just use him a little bit, he's way happier. Sure, that's way better. And I also remember one day they asked me, are your horse happy when they jump? And actually, I really believe there are some of them that love to jump. But I really believe that horses are happy to make us happy. That's what I really believe. I think they love us, and they feel so happy when they feel us happy. For me, for the horse, it's more important not the goal to make the jump clear, but to feel how you are impressed about them and how you are happy about them when they do it, because they really feel it. I think that we change energy when they make something special for us, and they feel this energy. I reward a lot horses with carrots, with candy. I am very bad in that. I know some people, some horsemen say, no, you don't need to feed them. I do everything. The first thing in the life, I do it.
Me too.
But I think they don't really care about. But when they feel that I'm like, wow, I did like almost piaf. And they feel it and they say, wow, look at that. I was the one that made Luca happy. You know what I mean? And they love it. They really like to make us happy. And I think they really try to do everything is possible to please us. It's English, please us? Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And I really feel that too. And I really feel like, in dressage, if I'm like, wow, that was amazing, they're like, I don't know what I did, but yeah. And, so many trainers and riders, but I think trainers especially, don't let themselves feel that when they're training. They always think, well, of course, the horse is supposed to do this. So when it does it, it's like neutral.
No.
And if they make a mistake, then it's, hey, you shouldn't have done that. But for me, I get made fun of sometimes because, I have a lot of experience, but I get really excited with even a lower level horse that makes a breakthrough. And people are like, that was nothing. I'm like, no, that was something really big for that horse. Yeah. And I know you're very expressive in your feelings. And I think that's an important piece. The horses can't feel good if we're not showing them how happy we are with them.
I do some clinic everywhere in the world, and often I go in the like North Europe or North Swiss, and I mean it's not a rule, but normally in the south of Italy you are more exuberant than in north of Italy, and in Spain, Italy, French or Greece. We are a little bit more exuberant than in the north of Europe. And sometimes I say to my students, you need to become Italian. He did it. Can you imagine? He was scared of the water. Now we jump. You need to hug him and be crazy and say thanks and dismount and kiss him. And they watch me like, and I say, otherwise the horse cannot be happy. And I say, that's right. And then we have fun because we say, become Italian, quick. You cannot be dressage, like that. You need to become like a jumper. Crazy. I'm joking.
I'm not normal dressage.
I know that you're learning from me to become Italian.
Yeah, that's so funny. Yeah. But one of my, the horse that's schooling the highest of mine right now, when I give him days off, because I think, oh, I'm working him hard and is this too much? And sometimes he acts like, this is hard. But he always ends up offering and doing it. When I give him a day off, he comes and puts himself in the grooming stall. He's like, he wants to do it again.
This is boring.
Yeah.
Do something.
So he's very expressive and he's very, he moves his head and, but he's always there for me and he loves it. So I think also that when you open up those feelings and allowing the horse to express themselves and allowing yourself to express things, then it's not always just quiet, quiet. Happy is not, happy has like joyful and energy into it, like an Italian.
Yeah, and also, I really, I had an idea when I start to do Parelli and I start to understand more about communication with horses. I say, okay, I don't want to wear spurs anymore, and I don't want to have a chain or snaffle with no draw rein. I want to try to get my perform just in simple snaffle, or maybe in rope snaffle, or in halter, or whatever. Don't force horses to do nothing, just make them. And then you must have them exuberant, because otherwise it's impossible to jump across 1.60 m.
Mm-hmm.
And then you need to be smart, because sometimes you have lazy horses, you know, sometimes you have horses that have no motivation, sometimes you have, and they need variety. And you know, I have a big place that I rent close to my barn that you need to come visit soon. And we have a very, very big field in grass, a little bit up and down. And I ride often there, and I follow other horses. And I mean, I try to find the situation that for them, they do something almost against me, to use that to train them. Okay, let's say I gallop behind another horse, and when they want to take off and run in front, I say, okay, wait a little bit, and I teach them a little bit to sit and collect. And I say, that's it, it's fantastic. But they get the idea. But they was not trained to do this job, but what they offer, I use for what I need. You know what I mean?
Nice.
I don't know if
Yeah.
I speak
Yeah.
right
Yeah.
English.
Because, you know, I think for training, and especially for something like what you do, they have to take responsibility for their actions, and they have to be willing to try and to, you know, put in those big efforts. So it's
Yeah,
not all about controlling and being in this perfect obedience.
no way.
It's
For me,
about,
no way. I mean,
yeah.
I remember one exercise that can be very interesting. I remember there was a horse that was very stiff, and he didn't want to fly change. And when he start to get in the frame, he get really stressed, and you know, he start to panic. And then I remember I had this horse in training, and I teach the rider to make him back. I teach that when I pinch him a little bit on the back, he back, you know.
Oh,
And I mean, the student was shocked, because why you teach my horse to back? I mean, this is crazy. And then I say, no, that's very important. You need to learn how to back. And then I change my weight on the outside stirrups, and I make him back, and they try change. And then I pat him and say, that's excellent, that's excellent. And after 10 times, I make him back, fly change, back, fly change, back. Then after 10 times, I change my weight on the outside stirrups, it fly change. And then I give him a carrots, and I say, that's fantastic. And the student was like, sometimes we need to go out of the system and find something that make the horse explode, react, make something crazy, and use this exuberance and lead this energy in what we need. And then they realize that they can do very easy, and actually we like it, and they say, okay, that's it. And then we put back in the tool. I mean, in
yeah, yeah. I
in the
love it.
normal training. In the normal training, otherwise the normal training is too boring.
Yeah.
I will never be able to be a horse. I mean, outside rein, inside rein, stay, sit up, let transition go, alpha bar. I mean, it's too
Yeah.
much. They need to be free, and in the freedom, they need to explore and experiment and make mistakes. And through the mistakes, we fix a little bit that, and then
Yeah.
that's a little bit my idea. You know, I think that it's very interesting for them to be a little bit crazy, wild, and in the wildness, find what we need, and then try to become partner. But don't be too much like German, you know. I mean, we used to say that German are very with a system.
Yeah.
I don't really think that they love it, in my personal view.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
this
No,
is
I
why
love
I
that.
love to ride bridleless. I love to play online. I love to play in liberty. I love to go try ride. I love to do whatever, and and then they start to offer stuff. And then when they offer stuff, I say, this is a good day to teach you something. when they want to run and they are crazy, I say that's the perfect day to teach you collection because you overoff energy. Try to canalize the energy in the shoulder in or in the pirouette or in the piaffe, or, you know. When they are lazy, it's a good day to follow other horses in the trial ride, way to go back home. Say okay, and then they can become, you know. I mean, if we use the nature of them to train them, I think it's easier to make them happy. I don't know, Karen, shoot me if I say stupid stuff.
No, I love it. I love it. I love it. Because it's, yeah, you just have so many more possibilities and opportunities, and to be thinking creatively and with curiosity instead of saying, I'm right, and here's what you need to do.
Yeah,
because
sure.
even if you're correct, that doesn't feel like fun. If we're thinking about how to make our horse happy, it's easier to let them do what they're trying to do and then shape it from there than to just always be putting them in a box. Love it.
Yeah, and also for me it's easy because I'm never correct, you know. I don't know how to be correct. I'm very lucky.
You are an excellent writer. Don't
I
believe
love you when you lie.
Just because when you rode Monty, you couldn't make him turn, but that's okay.
Yeah, he was a dressage horse. He did too much stool. Now I can ride. He will turn very easy.
Oh my goodness.
Because you are way better. Before he was too much dressage rider.
Another way
I love to speak with you.
Another way that I've seen you doing things a little bit differently to help your horses be happy is, you have your barn and then a big arena, and you ride a horse, and then you take its tack off and it stays in the arena, and then you ride another horse and then you take its tack off and it stays in the arena. And there's other people riding, and these are top international competitive horses. Expensive horses, and by the end of the day there's like 5 world-class horses rolling around, playing with each other people are jumping in and out around them. And so you give them that freedom, the chance to relax in their place where they just worked, and they get to play with each other. And that is just wonderful.
For me, it's kind of a reward, you know. I mean, when I ride them and they offer something, normally I have an idea. Okay, I say, okay, today my goal is to do, let's say, a combination. Okay, then I start to train them, and I know normally this horse is kind of a little bit lazy in the takeoff. Okay, he kind of slow down and jump too up, but he never go. And then I start to warm him up, and I jump a little cavaletti, and the takeoff is a choo. And then I change my plane straight away. I dismount, I let him free. And they know that when I dismount and I let them free, it's because I'm the happiest. Cannot be better. And it's crazy because in the beginning, some owner of horses or some friends that give me horses in training, they don't understand. They say, but you just sit on him.
You're supposed to ride it for 1 hour.
5 minutes. What are you doing? I say, doesn't matter. Whatever. He just offered me something that it's so great. And then they are looking for that, you know. When you ride them, they are like, they do something and then they look at you and say, hey, listen, that's enough. Are you happy? Or they say, maybe. And then they say, yes. And then they feel like, and the day after they start directly with that, you know. They say, yeah, remember what you want, what you're looking for. It's kind of, for me, to repeat something good is the worst thing you can do with a horse. When you have something good, you quit. And the day after will be gooder. You cannot say in English. better. Gooder.
Some people do. I love the range of reward, because you can give a reward like you would do an exercise, and like, okay, you rest for a second, give them a pet, but then you do it again. And then, maybe they do it and you give them a carrot, but then there's the really good one. You get off, you untack. So there's like a scale of rewards. Like, this is the best reward. This is a mini reward.
Yeah.
I find
and they know it. They're looking for it.
Yeah. I find my horses, if I'm doing dressage and like they did something good, and I'll stop and I'll give them a cookie, and they'll like, you know, turn to get the cookie. But when they do something like a little better, they'll be like one cookie, two cookies. And when they get the really good, I swear they'll be like one cookie, two cookie, three cookie, four cookie. You know? And then I know I need to get off. But I do feel like they start to understand, they know how it's going. Now they probably know that I'm the one messing up. Like, come on, get this right so I can get the big win.
Yeah. Wake up! You are too lazy, Kevin.
I know.
Be quicker.
Oh man. I know.
Yeah,
Every day when my horses are good, I come back to the barn and, you know, sometimes I say, oh, Vacation was really good today. But mostly I go, wow, I was really good today because I didn't mess that up.
that's
I
true.
take
That's
all
true.
the blame. Anyway.
I always wish to learn to be better because they are ready to do anything.
Yeah.
You
Do
know,
you?
some horses that let's say Neptune is 19 now, and I started riding when he was 7. And every day I learn something and I understand something better. But I mean, basic stuff, like really simple stuff, transition. And I say, wow, how he was so tolerant and so patient that he stayed with me 12 years. And it was so stupid that I did transition in the wrong situation, the wrong way, you know what I mean? Because if you change, you feel they are different horses straight away. They don't need to learn a lot. I mean, they know. It's just you that you need to become better. Okay, maybe in your sport, I don't know. There are a lot of things that maybe they need to be trained in. But in my sports, they are almost ready to do everything.
I don't know. I don't know how you do your sport. It
You
seems
know.
complicated to me.
No. It's very simple. Read the number and ride the happy horse that do everything by itself.
Do you have any stories of a particular horse that you felt like you had to do, I don't know, anything really special to try to figure out how to make him happy that was different than other horses? Or
I think some horses teach me that it's very stupid to have opinion. For example, I was always thinking that for horses it's nice to be with other horses in a big pasture and be free. And that's true. For example, Neptune love it. But for example, Jesus, now he's 23. It was one of my first horse that I did my first Nation Cup. Okay, that bring me in the professional sport. He showed me that he loved to be in his box, and then in the stall, and then in the morning I opened the stall. He liked to be free in my property, and he loved to go outside the field of the other horses. He liked to go out of the boxes of other horses. He liked to go back in his box sometime and then come out, but he want to stay in the box. And when I feed the other horses, he must be inside first. Other horse, they love to stay out day and night. I mean, it's really difficult to have opinion, say this is good for horses, this is not good.
yeah.
Any horse is different, and they change.
Mm-hmm.
They change. Like for example, now I realized that Connery, through Jesus, he learned that if you come in my stable, there are horses in the field, horses in the arena, free, and there are these 2 horses everywhere. And my property is not locked. They can go out of the property if they want, but they stay and they go around and you know, they go out of other boxes and they look the horses. Looks like, you see, I was so good that now I can be free. You need to. I mean, they are like show up and say, look at me, what I get. They are proud of that. And I swear to God that Connery learned that from Jesus. He was not like that.
Mhm.
It was kind of, if you don't give me a ring, if you don't give me protection, I kind of, it's too much for me. He can't tolerate this freedom. But now just to teach him, I mean, they're very, very special.
Yeah.
And it's funny to watch this, you know. And I'm very lucky because I have a group of people around me that are very better than me to understand horses, and they help me to see what is better for one horse, for the other, or whatever.
And what's nice is that you are not so much in your routine, that you are allowing your horses to tell you this. So you're giving them some choices and some freedom. Otherwise, so many trainers just take the horse, ride it, puts it back. But you must be giving them some room to try different things, or you're experimenting or just thinking about it. You're not just having a set routine every day. This is what the horses do. Like, how do you know what made you the first day let that horse out in the property?
I think that there are different ways to learn. For example, let's say there is a swimming pool. There is some people that like to touch the water, taste the water, and then they put one foot in, and then they take it off, and then the second one, and then they go in step by step. If I see a swimming pool, first I go in, I jump in, and then I realize if there was water, if not, if it was cold or not. I mean, I am kind of person that first I do, and then I think, you know what I mean? I follow my feel. I have no idea why I do something. I just do it. The only rule I have with myself is try to follow my heart. If what I'm doing starts from my heart, from my passion, from my love, I do it. Also, if it's strange for other people, I cannot care less. I do it. And then I listen what the horse responds, how he reacts. And then I say, okay, I was lucky. Works. Otherwise, I say, hey, I was lucky. That's a mistake. I don't do it anymore. Or I change it. I'm not afraid to make mistakes. Actually, I do so much that I use them to improve. You know what I mean?
I love
And
it.
if you have the right attitude, you never make mistakes. I mean, I think that the only free rule is do stuff because you love them. The second more important is do it because you love them more. And the third one is try to have a kind of a rule. Because some people that love horses, they think that love means, oh, do whatever you want. I think that, in my opinion, in my experience, horses need to be led. Horses need to have a rule. Human as well. We need to have an agreement. If we want to stay together, if we love each other, it's because, I mean, I respect you, you respect me. We have kind of, rule that make us become so much good friends, and we can stay forever and life connect. If I start to lose this, it's complicated. And there is a confusion, Some people think that give a rule is kind of abuse horses. It's not like that. Rules are very important if they become the true love, the real love, are very important. You need to be fair sometimes. No, thank you. But no, it's important as well. I love you, but no, thank you.
And I think horses do that. We see horses doing that with each other all the time.
All the time.
They're masters of that. Here's the line. Yeah.
And this line is give them a lot of safety. And for them, it's very important to feel safe. Otherwise, they cannot be happy, for sure.
Yeah.
Especially with horses that are very nervous, are very stressed. More you say, I love you. This is white. This is black. No opinion, no judge, but this is white, this is black. They say yes, there is no. They get relaxed. They get, and then they start to love you because they realize that you make them relax, and through the experience of being relaxed around you, they feel like you take away all the stress, all the heaviness that I had on my shoulder, and now I can stay like, and they feel like so grateful. And then they start to love you, and then they start to offer, and then it's a machine that works in your direction more and more.
I love that. I love the way you describe that.
Thank you.
Awesome.
I was lucky. I just tried.
No, that was beautiful. And I think, I mean, my last question for you is, do you have a final message for everyone? But I feel like that was a really good message. I don't know if you could top that.
No, I really believe that it's very important to have this, follow this free rule. Love them, love them more, give them all, because it's something that helped me to make myself more lovely for them. And I wish that human can learn to be more lovely for them, because then we get so much back, and we have our life become wonderful.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was so nice. We need to do it more often.
I know. I feel like I'm there almost.
Yeah.
Not really, but almost.
We had so much fun in September in Rome. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, nice. We need to do it again.
Yes. As soon as we can start flying and doing
it. We must. Otherwise, boy, we become older. We are like, I'm almost 21 now.
You lost you again.
I lost you again.
There we go. All right. Well, I'm going to wrap this up and just stop the recording. But thank you so much again. I will leave links to your website and Facebook page so people can find you. And I hope we'll talk again soon.
Love you. Ciao, Karen. Thank you.